So we know that all the potential jurors in this case were aware of it, and we know they knew about the settlement with Gray's family. Attorney Warren Alperstein also in the Mitchell courthouse today as the jury selection got underway, and he joins us now. So Warren, we know that the judge asked questions about the settlement. Everybody knew about that. Everybody knew about Freddie Gray. So I guess what happens now?
Well, you know, remember, we don't know exactly what was said behind closed doors.
That's what I was going to ask you. How unusual is that for the judge to pull people behind closed doors?
It is very unusual. Remember, the voir dire process is a process that happens before the trial. And what it is, it's an attempt to examine the prospective jurors to see if they're competent and fit to sit as jurors. In other words, do they have any preconceived opinions or notions as to the defendant's guilt? And you want to wean out anybody that is a prospective juror that may have, that happening. And therefore, after Judge Williams asked a number of questions today, and based on those questions, he then called in each individual juror who responded in the affirmative to any of those questions back into a conference room where both the state was represented, with the two prosecutors as well as the defense attorneys, and of course Judge Williams was a part of that process. What what apparently is happening, of course, is that they ran out of jurors. Too many people had these biases and prejudices or hardships that would not allow them to sit as jurors for 2 weeks.
Yeah, and Brian Kubler just said that Schaefer came out of the courtroom and told him that 75 gone today, and they're going to start tomorrow with a whole new pool. Does that indicate that maybe we're going to have some difficulty?
Well, it may very well be the case. What's also an interesting point that I think we always want to keep in mind is, one of the very first questions that Judge Williams asked the prospective jurors today was whether or not they were aware of the Freddie Gray case and the events that occurred, after his death. And of course, everybody there answered that they were aware of it. Just knowing about it in and of itself is not enough to strike, you as a juror, to have you removed from the panel. That being said, what's interesting is that there was protesting going on outside the courthouse, but not just outside the courthouse, but underneath the very same window of the courtroom where these jurors were sitting, waiting to be questioned by the attorneys and the judge. And so what we have to ask ourselves is whether or not any of that protesting had any effect on any of these jurors. Did it intimidate them? Did it, cause them any undue pressure?
So what if they can't seat a jury? Can they have, is it called a bench trial? Is that when the judge presides over the case?
Yeah, no, as long as a defendant wants a trial by jury, he or she is constitutionally guaranteed to have a trial by jury. And so if you can't impanel a jury today, you try it tomorrow, you add more jurors to the panel. Instead of 75, you can add 100, you can add 150 to try to find jurors. If at the end of the day, we can't impanel a fair and impartial jury in Baltimore City, then we come back full circle to that change of venue.
Which was requested a couple times.
Exactly.
Okay, all right, Warren, thanks a lot. I think
My
we'll be
pleasure.
seeing you a little bit more.
My pleasure.
All right,
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.